I've spent a lot of time in Los Angeles. I have a couple friends down there in LA. Many people who are USC fans say this to me. They ask a question of me. They say, should USC fire their head coach, Clay Helton? And then sometimes it's not even a question. Sometimes USC fans just say to me, USC needs to fire their head football coach, Clay Helton. It's ridiculous. It's an absurd belief that LA fans have. USC fans, for some reason, believe that Clay Helton, their head football coach, is not a good football coach. I think you need to understand the history of this man. Not once, but twice, Clay Helton has rescued USC when they made bad decisions, when the athletic director and people at the top in the football program made bad decisions. Clay Helton came to the rescue. In 2013, Lane Kiffin is the USC head coach for 5 games. He's 3-2. And after losing to Arizona State, he gets off the plane at 3 a.m. and gets fired on the spot. Enter Ed Orgeron. Ed Orgeron is named the interim head coach for USC. He leads them to a 9-3 record and the Rose Bowl game. And right before the Rose Bowl, USC hires Steve Sarkisian to be their new head coach. But there's still the bowl game to play. This is before the bowl game, and Ed Orgeron leaves the program. So now you fired your head coach, you lost your interim head coach, and you have Steve Sarkisian, but he's useless because he doesn't know the program. Enter Clay Helton. Clay Helton comes to the rescue. Steps in, they win the Las Vegas Bowl. Not the Rose Bowl, excuse me, I meant Las Vegas Bowl. So that's 2013. Clay Helton comes to the rescue, wins the bowl game. 2 years later in 2015, now Steve Sarkisian is the head coach. He has a bunch of issues off the field. He gets fired mid-season. Guess who comes back to save the day? Clay Helton enters again, saves the day, leads USC to a bowl game. So in 2016, finally USC officially names Clay Helton the head football coach of their program. 2016, he goes 10-3, wins the Rose Bowl, beats Penn State. It's this epic game, a game like we've never seen before. I think literally one of the best games in college football history is USC versus Penn State in that Rose Bowl game. Then in 2017, the next season, goes 10-3 his first year as a head coach, goes 11-3 in his second year as head coach, wins the Pac-12 championship. He does lose in the Cotton Bowl. And despite first year going 10-3, second year going 11-3, USC fans are ready to throw the guy out. He's a bad coach. He can't win in big moments. You understand, the man is 21-6, and you're ready to run him out of town? In the first 2 seasons that Clay Helton was the head coach at USC, he lost 6 games in 2 years. How about you compare that to Pete Carroll, who lost 6 games in just his first season at USC? Everyone always compares Clay Helton to Pete Carroll. And not only is that ridiculous, I hear things from people in LA like, Clay Helton doesn't fit our city. He doesn't have enough personality. He's too reserved. He's too quiet. He's not loud enough. Oh, you mean you want a loud personality like Lane Kiffin or Steve Sarkisian? Because how did that work out? Oh, yeah, they were fired mid-season because of issues off the field. Or, Steve Sarkisian had a drinking problem. You want that guy back? Because that's the difference. That's what Clay Helton is. Clay Helton is stability for USC. USC fans are too hard on Clay Helton. It's disgusting. It's annoying. Yes, Clay Helton is not Pete Carroll. However, this is also the Pac-12. It's no longer the Pac-10. You understand that when USC was dominating college football, when USC had Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, when they were winning national championship after national championship, the reason was USC had no competition in recruiting. Coaching in the Pac-10 at the time, not the 12, the 10, coaching in the Pac-10 when USC was a head coach, when Pete Carroll was a head coach of USC, coaching in that conference was terrible. Now in the Pac-12, you have a bunch of good coaches. UW has a good coach. Washington State has Mike Leach. Oregon has a good coach. Stanford. Arizona State hired Herm Edwards. Chip Kelly has gone to UCLA. Arizona has Kevin Sumlin. Oh, and Utah has Kyle Whittingham. That's at least 5, maybe 8 great head coaches in the Pac-12. Remember, Pete Carroll had no competition. Cal had Aaron Rodgers once. That's the best it got. They had Jeff Tedford. Pete Carroll was dominating at USC because he got every single good recruit on the entire West Coast. Now all the recruits are pretty evenly distributed between UW, Washington State, Oregon, Stanford. UCLA is probably not gonna struggle in recruiting. And despite all of that, in fact, I would even point out, did you notice that when Oregon hired Chip Kelly and when Stanford hired Jim Harbaugh, that's magically when Pete Carroll's reign of terror ended. When Pete Carroll stopped dominating the conference is when he had to deal with only 2 other good coaches in the Pac-10, Pac-12. Yeah, Pete Carroll couldn't handle 2 other great head coaches. And again, Clay Helton has 5, maybe 8 great coaches in the Pac-12 he's up against. And despite all of that, people want to say that Clay Helton is not a great coach. Year 1, he went 10-3. Year 2, he went 11-3. He won the Pac-12 conference last year, and people are going to fire the man. It's ridiculous. So right now, Clay Helton is 3-2. He's not off to a great start. They struggled. They had negative 5 yards rushing against Texas. I get why people are frustrated, but you also have to remember, USC's starting quarterback is a true freshman. He's 18 years old. He should be a senior in high school. I would cut Clay Helton just a little bit of slack. Give him some time. Give him some patience. In fact, you could even argue Clay Helton has earned the right to have a year off or a bad year. Give him some patience. Give him some time. For God's sake, stop being so ready to run the man out of town. Why do USC fans expect to win the Pac-12 every single year to dominate? I get why. It's because of Pete Carroll, but college football has changed. Pete Carroll had no competition. Clay Helton has a bunch. Oh, and by the way, Clay Helton has been more successful in his first 2 years as a head coach than Pete Carroll was. Stop being so hard on Clay Helton. It drives me nuts. I'll relax. I'll relax. You relax. Clay Helton is not just a good coach. He is a great football coach. And I'm tired of the narrative that Clay Helton is not LA. He's not personality enough. He's not a good enough coach. Relax, everybody. Clay Helton's a great football coach. He's going to do a great job in the future. If you're a USC fan, relax and give the man some patience. He certainly earned the right. He won you the Pac-12 conference last year. He has earned the right for you to give him the benefit of the doubt. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Zach Schaumler. This is my show, Strong Opinion Sports. It's my pride and joy. I'm very proud of it. If you're new to Strong Opinion Sports, you can subscribe to it on iTunes, SoundCloud, on YouTube. You can find the full entire hour-long podcast on YouTube, or you can find more shorter breakout videos like the one you just watched. And if you like what I had to say, maybe you hate what I had to say, share this with your friends. Share it on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever it is. Help me grow Strong Opinion Sports by telling your friends about the show. My name is Zach Schaumler. Have a great day.